Hey, it's your girl KB back with another review for Married to Medicine season 12, episode 3. Y'all think I accidentally been saying season 10 because that's what was in my notes. That's what was in my notes. So, this episode, we are pretty much focused on Contessa for a big portion of it. Wasn't so bad. Wasn't so bad. I lied. It was. Contessa is insufferable. It wasn't so bad every scene. I'll say that. So she's turning 49 soon and she's planning herself a party since she has never had a birthday party. She emphasizes that Scott has never done anything to her liking, to her standards essentially, for her birthday. I cannot. I just never. Y'all been together 20 years. Never. Simone, I'm jumping ahead, but Simone was right when she said you have to set the expectations in your relationship. My mama taught me that when I was a young woman, what was it? I think it was like my first college, like junior year of college, like my first relationship. Like I went home to his hometown to meet his family and stuff. And she told me you need to set the expectations in your relationship because what you allow now is basically gonna carry throughout the relationship. And I was like, oh wow. I always remembered that. Even when I got with my now husband, y'all, I would not cook for him. I refused to cook for him for like the first 7-8 months. And it would have been longer for that if it wasn't for COVID. If we had had the option to go out and eat, it would have been longer than that. Because I just didn't want to set an expectation of him always expecting me to cook, me to do this, me to do that. No, he's not big on birthdays. I am. I'm very big on birthdays. My first birthday after our daughter was born. I stressed to him, I was like, listen, between COVID, ruining plans, having this baby, I want to do something grand for my birthday. I want to be with my girls. He said, heard I did a little West Tennessee wine tour. He paid for the limo. Me and my girls, we paid for our, entries into the wineries and stuff like that. They may have paid, I think we each paid like $35, something like that, something simple. He paid that 6, 7, whatever it was. My mama made snacks. Everybody know, birthdays we turn up, okay? We turn up. So the fact that she has never put this task on him, you gonna wine and dine me, but that's Contessa. It's like you can't even blame Scott. Can we blame Scott? We see Contessa do what she do. Can we blame Scott? Okay. Anyway, back to the script. Back to the notes. She's dressed 70s style and she's going to the venue to walk through with her party planners to get everything, laid out. Well, to get everything planned out, rather. Toya meets her there. I was very happy to see this. I am just so glad that Toya and Contessa have gotten back to the friendship that brought Contessa on the show. Because wasn't she Toya's friend? And then Toya got so nasty towards her. I can't even remember what they fell out about. I just remember them sitting at that table to eat and Contessa ordered all that food. And she was like, and you gonna pay for it? Toya was like, I'm not. Toya drank her drink and walked off on that lady. And Contessa, did she sit there and eat alone? Or she just said, yeah, box it up for me. Ordered all that food, girl. You saw Toya sitting there with that drink. You knew she was just here for business and to dip. But anyway, glad to see that they are back on good terms. Toya is excited to be helping, to be walking through with this her party and everything. She Contessa tells Toya this is her first big party, last year of her 40s. Ain't nobody did it for her. She got to do it for herself. Toya's like, oh, I don't know whether to be happy or be sad. I said, I know, right? Like, whoop, whoop, to the girls getting it on their own, go get it. But dang, ain't nobody ever throw you no birthday party. Like I said, birthdays are big around me. I think my first big birthday that I can remember was when I was like somewhere between 8 and 10. We went to Disney. We went to Florida. She planned her little trip with her friends around my birthday and was like, this gonna be my baby's birthday. We went to Disney. We went to Universal Studios. That was at 8. So I likes to do stuff, okay? She threw me my first party when I was like 14. And baby, it was the craziest thing ever, y'all. This a tangent. This a tangent episode right here because I'm just talking. So I live in my childhood home. Like I live in my childhood home. I moved to Memphis. My mama was like, you can get the house, we moving. Boom, babe. I live in my childhood home. So the memories sometimes when I'm walking around, I'm like, yo, this is where this happened. This is where my first time this happened. So 14, my mama had a party for me. She threw me a surprise party. Had all my friends there, got with my bestie, had everybody that I loved there. And this is, aging myself. This was around the time when, like, you know, we were hitting the chicken head, we were hitting the pancake, we were doing all that right there. And my mama was in the middle of the party like, teach me how to do it. Teach me how to do it. Everybody loved my mama. I had the cool mom. Growing up, the cool mom. Everybody loved my mama because coming over here, she was going to have the food on deck. She was going to have a snack. We had the big screen. Everybody else's house, we had to buy our own food. They be like, y'all got y'all money for y'all pizza? All right, man. They coming over here, my mama got the works. She got laid out type deal. So everybody loved my mama. They indulged. It was so embarrassing, but it was so funny at the same time. Anywho, back to Contessa's birthday. Nah, man. Tessa, she is starting early. Like I said, she's bad-mouthing her husband already. And like she always do, she's going to get mad when people have her back or when people tell her to set expectations and stuff. She always finds a way to get offended after she complained about it. It's so annoying. So annoying. Contessa's laying out how she wanted. She wanted to be like a casino night, but a player's ball, red or purple carpet, balloons. The balloons were crazy. That was some thousands on the balloons alone. The balloons were intense. So she's telling the planner, oh, I'm trying to keep the budget under 40K. Toya said, 40K? Huh? What? She said, is that too low? Girl, that's too high. That's too high. Toya in her confessional was like, girl, if you got 40K on hand, you need to be trying to finish your office building. And I was just like, not Toya being the one that's fiscally responsible. She said, listen, how long y'all been waiting on this building? Girl, you're gonna have to pay to get some stuff rushed or pay for overtime, pay to get a whole nother crew to be working around the clock. Y'all the AM crew, y'all the PM crew. If you just got another 40K sitting around, you can spend 10 on that party and the rest getting that office done. Telling them 2 weeks when it's really 2 months. Just crazy. Next we see Quad and King at the house. She's doing, he eating. She's talking about, you ain't eating my food, isn't they? Have a little back and forth about leftovers. She harping on it. He just like, we ain't gonna talk about that. King is an interesting person. King is slick like one of my exes that I had to leave because I am a delicate flower. You have to adore me. Adore and adorn, okay? Don't be calling me big back. Me and I already play too much now. He playing too much on camera. Save that for when the camera's out here. Don't be Don't be trying to humble me in front of the cameras. Anyway, he like, go ahead and do your IVF shots. You already moody. You might as well go on and take your shots. Because, girl, I got to deal with it. I'm like, oh. She go from, well, I get a little emotional. I do be crying. But do I be raging? I don't be raging, do it? He says, I've been trying to dodge this bullet for years. And now look at us. I said, dodge this bullet. She was like, it's not a bullet. It's a blessing. He gonna say, a blessing in disguise. Now, see, that's where I would draw the line. You're not going to make jokes about my fertility journey and whether you really want a baby or not. Quiet. Quiet. He said, if this don't work, I'm going to be annoyed because I'm like, oh, I could have bought another car. Sir. Scale it back. Quiet. Let's talk to quiet. Don't fertilize all your eggs, okay? Whatever you get, he said he wants you to get another 6. Whatever you get, only fertilize what you finna implant. Don't fertilize and put embryos with his sperm in the freezer. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not saying y'all not gonna be together next year. I'm not saying he gonna leave and be on some bull. I'm just saying we see in cases of where women get these eggs fertilized, they in the freezer. Now y'all done divorced or broke up and you gotta destroy them. And you gotta destroy him because he's like, nah, you can't have my babies. No. So let's only fertilize what you're about to immediately implant. Don't fertilize, mom. And this is coming from the heart. The heart. Please don't fertilize all the eggs. Don't put no embryos in the freezer. Just put your eggs in the freezer. I know she don't watch my videos, but from my mouth across some states to her ears, please, Lord, put it on her soul. Please. Okay. People be annoyed because they like, Quad don't really want no baby. She just taking over Sweet Tea storyline since she got Sweet Tea off the show. That is a very intense, strange thing to say and to think and to feel. Fertility journey, taking shots, that ain't something to play with. As much as I think Quad do a lot for storyline, going through IVF ain't one of them. That ain't something I think she doing for a storyline. She been said she wanted a baby. She just didn't want no baby with, what's that squeaky voice? What's that man name, right? He be talking like this. What's his name? Lunsford? Gregory Cicero Lunsford. That's what it is. Him. She didn't want no baby with him. But she been said she wanted kids. So I just refuse to believe that she's doing this just because she kicked Sweet Tea off the show and now she has to carry on the storyline of bringing the baby to life. Like, girl, what? It is never that deep. Never. So she says that they have a friend who was like 48, got pregnant, and she was like, oh my God, how did you do it? And she's like, yeah, girl, I got this doctor out in Ghana. So she like, baby, I'm finna go out to Ghana to have me a baby. She said Dr. Jackie handles her labs and her blood work stateside, making sure she good. But essentially, she's gonna fly to Ghana to have appointments and assume to get do implantation when she gets to that point. But the relationship is different. A lot of people feel like he mean to her, he don't like her. It's not my type of love. But hey, he over there calling her big bag. I didn't take that as a big deal. My husband make a few little jokes and stuff, you know, but the fertility jokes, you could have bought another car. Get out. Get out. So now it is party time, y'all. Everyone looks super cute. They're reminiscing on what they were doing in the 70s. If they was babies, if they was in school, if they weren't boy. Because Angel asked Mimi, did you grow up in the 70s? Mimi was like, no. Like, why would Angel ask her? You know that girl is not that old. Like, even just, you know she ain't that old. All of the ladies is doctors and nurses or whatever, right? Most of them. And we can see that amongst the youngest is definitely Mimi. How old is Angel? I feel like Angel is one of them in-betweeners. I feel like Mimi might be the youngest. Mimi and Quad, they might be the youngest. Yeah, because they're the party girls, they're the club girls, you know? Damon the only one that ain't dressed up in 70s gear. So annoying. Him was like, it's my fault. I should have got him something. Yes, girl. Y'all remember when when Heavenly made Damon wear that dashiki when they did them ancestry tests and they had the whole little thing to tell, like, they had it printed out on the poster boards. I am 37% West African. Quad was the most African. And was it Simone? It was either Simone or Toya who had like a lot of Caucasian in there. Definitely them. And what was it? Did Eugene call them some niggas? I think that was a start. Yeah, Eugene called them some niggas. This show is one of my favorites, and I hate that it's like an underling to Housewives because it's better. It's better than all the Housewives at this point. Like, come on. So Toya tells the ladies that Contessa spent like $40,000 on the party. And they're all like, where? Where's the $40,000? Where is it? And I'm like, 40,000 seems crazy, but we can tell she spent some money on that party because we don't have the venue, probably some thousands, probably at least 5. It's giving 7. knowing how the length of time and them having the whole room and not half, she spends thousands, over 5 racks probably for the room itself. Them balloons was like my whole back wall and then some. Them balloons was like the side of a house, child. It was a lot of balloons. She said she had some, then that wasn't even the only balloon. She had like little columns and stuff throughout. You know, she's had to spend a lot on food. If it's an open bar for 200 people, that liquor eat that money up quick. Liquor and food to eat the budget up real quick, Chad. So Simone is like, the most I've ever spent on a party, $5,000. The kids' graduation party, $5,000. And we ain't need no balloons, we ain't need no step and repeat, we ain't need no photographer. Toya's so messy, but this is exactly what I would have did too. She's just sitting there like, oh, this is a great party, guys. You did such a great job on the party, Scott. The men throw such great parties, don't they? She had a confession. I was like, the guys need to step it up, except Eugene. I said, she ain't lying. She ain't lying. And so the guys like, yeah, we throw great parties because we write the check. We write the check. All of y'all wives make more money than y'all because of this show. So please stop acting like, yeah, I'm big pockets, I'm deep pockets over here. Girl, boy, stop. The guy's like, she being shady, huh? She throwing shade. Scott don't care, okay? Scott and Contessa is Will and Jada at their table when they was like, bad marriage for life. Like bad boys for life, but it just clearly don't hit the same. Bad marriage for life type deal. That's what Scott and Contessa give. Now, mind you, Scott ain't did a nary of planning for this party, but he grabs the mic to make a toast. I said, not you doing a speech? Did Contessa tell you to do this? He's talking about how Tessa did such a great job on the party and she's a go-getter. She's a great mom. His mom loved her. His mom, they was sitting and watching movies one day and she was like, she would have jumped off the boat for you. She would have scooted over on that door for you, boy. She would have pulled the rolls. She wouldn't let you die. She wouldn't let you die. I'm like, so even your mom can see that Contessa constantly sacrifices herself, her safety, her comfortability for Scott. Okay, got it. Cool. All right. That's comforting. They're in the confessional. He's like, I ain't planning on a party. Yeah, y'all right. I didn't plan on a party because if I did, she wouldn't have liked nothing I did. She would have changed it. So it's best that she did it. And she like, he right. And I'm with Scott. I'm with Scott. I'm not finna play with people that just can't have something and let it be. You know what I mean? Set your expectations. Let me know. Lay it out. But yeah, he would have to step it up somewhere though. He would have to step it up somewhere. But we have all seen for years how difficult Contessa is. We have all seen for years. Okay. I would have cut the sound system off on him. I would have cut the sound system off. He ain't have no surprise, no gift, no car, no trip, no jewelry, nothing. I said, is there a diamond tennis bracelet coming? Is there a trip to Fiji? Is there a Rolls Royce in the room? I guess he said you spent $40,000 on the party. That is your gift. Because it came out the joint account. So, I mean, I guess. But, I guess. It was just really weird of him, that toast or whatever. It was... Anyway, we see the guys talking. Eugene is over there telling the guys that, he work at like 5 different hospitals. I said, 5 different hospitals? And he like, yeah, 5 different hospitals. And in most of the hospitals, the nurses love him. They're like, oh, the nurses loved you. He like, yeah, nothing like that. They just love me. Some of them male nurses too. They like, oh, okay. Toya like, He like, yeah. She's like, what's the male nurse name? Paul. His name Paul. And he know Curtis. See, you can verify that. You can check that. 5 different hospitals is intense when you got a wife and kids at home. Like, I know, traveling nurses with families who essentially do the same. I even know some who will go states away for a 3-month assignment. I might see you every other week. I might come home to the family every other week. So, I mean, it's being in the health field and knowing how it is. It's not that crazy that Eugene is working so far from the house, because them traveling nurses, them traveling doctors, baby, the money that they make is, yeah. And if they trying to afford this $3 million house, and them boys, I'm sure them boys' private school is nothing to sneeze at. So yeah. The ladies go out back for their usual girl chat, and Jesus. I guess I did have one on some tangents, huh? For their usual girl chat, Toya asks Contessa, well, why you looking like you going to prom and we got on 70s stuff? 70s, I gotta be, Tessa said 70s. Contessa said, I gotta be different. People gotta be able to tell who party it is. And they was just like, true. Angel asks her if she feels a way about having to throw her own party. She starts talking in circles as if people are assuming this, and she didn't yell it from the mountaintops to anybody that will listen. And this is what Contessa gets on my nerve. She talks in circles, but she ultimately says she don't want to leave her 40 with any regrets. So she did it, she wanted it, and she did it. And it was just like, well, did you tell him? Did you tell him that you want to help? She's like, he knows that I wanted the party. He knows that I've been waiting. He know what I want. He ain't did it. I did it myself. Simone is triggered. And she tells them, like I said, set your expectations high and early in marriage. You set the tone or they will take you for granted. I said, baby, y'all better set that bar. You better. The bar is here, babe. You're here. We need you here. We need you here. That's what's the y'all better set that bar. She mentions that, and this was crazy. This was crazy. She mentions that Cecil didn't get her a Mother's Day card for her first Mother's Day. And so Contessa's just like, why are we reevaluating our marriages right now? They're like, I mean, girl, don't we always do what we do? What you make a brand new for, girl? Did what we do. So Heavenly's in the confessional like, y'all don't talk about contested marriage, okay? I learned, don't talk about contested marriage, okay? She gonna tell you, she gonna complain to you about what she mad at, and then she gonna get mad at you for remembering. I said facts. Facts. And so Contessa is annoyed at this point. She's like, you see how sexist y'all are? It's my birthday. I threw this fabulous party for myself. And y'all back here talking about the men. Baby, we back at the red table talk. Because I thought Willow was on here with that, that everybody here. I said, Jesus, I cried. Everybody was just like, Contessa said, y'all sitting at the best party y'all have ever attended. And y'all asking me why Scott didn't plan it. I said, girl, because you've been crying about Scott didn't plan it. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it because that's all you've been talking about. So, yeah. Party over, she storms off like, sick of you bees. You know how Contessa be looking. And next, y'all, we see Simone and Cecil. They kids coming over, they boys coming over. They recently graduated. I think they both graduated from Georgia State, if I'm not mistaken. We know the oldest had a little journey with school. He had first went off to Howard, didn't do so hot, came home, was the first semester or first year, took a gap year, and then ended up going to Georgia State, but I guess he wasn't full-time, so it's taking him a while. Whereas Michael, I don't think he took no time off. He went to a junior college. I remember them saying he went to a junior college for basketball, and I guess he transferred to Georgia State after he was done with it. They're over to the house. They like, we made dinner. Y'all, when they was fixing the plates, they had it in them aluminum pans, and you can see that they didn't take the paper out the bottom of the disposable pan. I said, oh my God. You got them folks eating all type of dust, rat feces, asbestos, just all types of anything could be sitting on them disposable pans. They didn't even take the paper off. So Simone and Cecil get home. Simone's like, oh, let me get some food. Let me whip up some food. They're like, no, girl, we cooked. She's like, yo, cooked? They're like, yeah, okay. So they sit on down. The boys ain't even warm up the food. They ain't even warm up the food because everybody like, yeah, let me warm my plate up. Yeah, warm mine up. So they didn't even put the stuff in the oven, I guess, because the paper was fully intact. So they just cooked it and dumped it in that daggone pan, child. They sit on down to talk. And Michael tells her, you know, I'm tired of that Jeep. Jeeps ain't cool no more past the age of, whatever. So I want a new car. She said, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to show you something. Let me go get my iPad. I crunched some numbers. He said, don't say nothing that's going to make me give your plate to the dog. And she busts out laughing. She busts out laughing, y'all. I said, She a good one. So she just in the confessional, like, listen, they graduated. I'm excited that they about to be out my pockets. I ain't gotta pay for school no more. Like, period. She sits on down. She's like, okay, Michael, let's talk about the chase card. Let's talk about the chase card. You swiped $60,000 on the chase card last year. You let him swipe $60,000 on the chase card? Once you pass $900 and don't make a payment on it, baby, I'm locking the card. The card is getting locked until you pay at least half of that. I don't care. I don't care, Melina. Melina gonna know. Melina know now. With the money she get from her grandparents. No. And then Miles gonna jump in and say, oh, mama, why you doing this? Basically, wrong road. Miles over there, wrong road, mama, wrong road. She said, why does this have to be negative? We just talking money. And Michael is just kind of like arguing back and forth with her. She was like, if I were you and I wanted a car, I wouldn't be arguing with the person I'm asking to buy the car. Period. And so then they talk about law school. Because he want to go to law school. How you going to pay for law school? We got to talk about that too. Oh, well, I got a mom who makes pretty good money. He like, you going to pay for it. You got money. She's like, no, I just got to pay for you a roof over your head and food in your mouth. I ain't got to pay for no daggone law school. And so Cecil jumps in and he's trying to like softly mediate, but he's not really making a point. She says, listen, I am the only one in this house with an advanced degree, and you want to know how I got it? With scholarship, grants, loans. I did it myself. Michael says, that's because you didn't have parents that have it like that. That don't mean that you can't go out and get it. You ain't got to get it out the mud, but you can go out and get it. Okay? She is dumbfounded. He said, look, them white kids, the little white kids in life, they parents be taking care of everything. They parents take care of everything. They graduate, they don't have no loans and all that. And they go to be millionaires. Simone said, yeah, but what about those white kids who parents pay for everything and they still don't do shit? And that's what I'm not finna do. Cecil gonna say, I mean, baby, he does have a point. We do have the money. To be fair, every day he's saying, he be thinking of ways to help you out. Well, get a job so you can pay for your own home and your own school. Don't be thinking of ways to help out. Do it. Okay? You graduated. Go be a paralegal somewhere while you go to law school. Before you go into however that work. Go. I'm sure your mama knows some lawyers. Go be somebody's paralegal and get a job and pay your own rent. And stop charging up your mama credit card. That's what you could do to help. Talking about you thinking of ways to help. You grown and graduated. I was too through at that. She spaz on them because she's annoyed at this point. She's irate. It's the entitlement. It's the audacity. But what if I'm dead when he's still in law school? Then what? Cecil said, I mean, it might happen. God might call you home. That could happen. And Simone, this irates her even more because the kids gonna be the kids. We spoiled them and we know how we got them rotten. But you not having my back at all, or at least in front of the kids. So she directs all that at him at this point. And Michael says, I'm done talking about this. Excuse me? She's screaming about, I'm working so hard and everybody depending on me and I'm trying to retire. But I'm raising 3 grown men over here that's in my wallet. She tells Cecil, you can't speak for me because you don't think like me. You don't even support me. I'm done. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing. I give you everything I have. I give you everything I have to give. F you, F you, and especially F you. All for them to get on live after the show, and we find out that she bought him a Tesla. I was dumbfounded. Not even at the fact that she bought him a car, because she was probably going to get them new cars anyway because they graduated. That's what rich parents do. She was probably going to get them some new whips anyway. But it's a Tesla? Simone, Spellman sister. Why, Lord? But essentially, they go through between Watch What Happens Live and this live. He weaponized their relationship. He iced her out for 2 weeks. So I guess she got sad and sick of her son not talking to her, and she called and they made some negotiations, and she went and bought the new car. But he applied for school to enter law school in the fall, and he still got to figure that out. I said, girl, open your purse. Simone, you yourself probably make at least 1.5. You bringing home $1 million a year. You got money for the boy law school. I get you just want him to be grateful, but you know you got that money, girl. Brandy's birthday is coming up as well. She they go to a little eatery. It look cute. It's nice decor. Okay, but I did see some hookahs. I did see a hookah, didn't I? So I was like, oh no. Simone and Heavenly get there first. She tells her about the family dinner and how they expected her to pay for law school. And Heavenly said, you shouldn't have to pay for law school. She said, I didn't say I would pay for law school. Everybody else gets there. They get to the table. Toya got on gaudy labels. You know, she has to wear a label, and the label got to be smack dab on her chest. Moschino, Dior, Chanel. Like, she just has to have a monogrammed T. Like, just has to. So she's telling everybody, hey, and she tells Jackie, oh, don't feel underdressed. You look just fine. Jackie in the confessional said, this brand name Biatch always got something to say. I bumped that Prada. I got my Zara. I said, period. Period. Jackie said, well, us professionals have other places to go. So they're like, oh, we not professional? So the other ladies here not professional? No, girl, I'm talking to you. Well, if professional means that it's you, well, I don't want to be you. I want to be me, and I don't want to be you. Brandy is just like, okay, my birthday, y'all. Thank y'all for coming. My husband's like, yeah, girl, get your friends. Go out to eat. Everything on me. Everything on me. So when she said this earlier, Heavenly was like, you don't think that you need to tone that down some? You know, your husband doing all that for you, and Contessa's husband didn't do that for her, so you don't want to come turn that down? No? You know, like, no, I'm not gonna turn it down some. Contessa is triggered. She is feeling away. Make you feel some type of way. Brandy, they don't show if she called her husband or if her husband called her. But her husband's on the phone, and she's like, yeah, the girls just want to say thank you. They're like, thank you, thank you. And you can tell it took some people off guard, like, oh, we did? Okay, thanks. Type deal. Like, all right, that was random, but you know, it is what it is. He paying for dinner. You say thank you. She's like, okay, thank you. Thanks, babe. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And they like, what's just going on? Contessa said something. I can't really remember what she said slick, but Brandy just ends up being like, well, let's just pray. Let's just pray, you know. Oh, because she said something about the party. Like, girl, This little place we in a strip mall. Like, it ain't all that fancy to be doing all that. Brandy like, girl, let's just pray and eat the food. Contessa says, so can we pray to God or do we gotta pray to your husband for buying the food? I ain't gonna lie, I squealed just like heavily. Not because it was that, it was funny because she said thank you, like she did say thank you a lot. It was funny, but also Contessa, you can't even tuck your shame in, your jealousy, your envy. Like, girl, you are so bothered right now. It is a mess. And so, heavily squealing and they high-fiving and carrying on. Brandon said, you're in your feelings, and that's okay. But we know that she is in her feelings. She's just being a mean person like she is. It's just like, Contessa, it doesn't have to be that way. She was like, listen, my husband paid for the party. He didn't have a problem with what I spent. He didn't have a problem. He paid for mine. We don't have a problem. And she said, and if this is what he did for my birthday, and my husband did this for my birthday, I would have been underwhelmed. And everybody's just looking like, girl, stop it. Brandon's just like, well, I ain't had to pay for this. My husband paid, so I thanked him. Enjoy yourself, girl. Enjoy your meal, okay? Contessa pulls out her coin purse. Well, I brought my, if I gotta, he brings some money just in case. Just in case. And starts pulling all these bills out of her coin purse. And just like, girl, put your coin purse up. And I'm like, you keep throwing around money with an unfinished building. This is not making sense. If you got all this money to toss everywhere, toss it at the contractors so they can get in there and finish it. Toss it at a rush shipment for these materials that you probably need. Toss it at something that matters right now while you over here losing patience. Girl, patience and patience, And everybody's just like, you can tell everybody's just like, oh my God, why is she doing all this? Contessa's just like, I make just as much money as him. Why is the expectation for him to throw me a party? Like I said, Heavenly is just like, listen, y'all stay out of it. We all know how this gonna go. Why y'all focusing on the negatives? Because they like, girl, this is what you be saying. Why y'all focusing on the negative? Why y'all focusing on what kind of friends do that? Toya said, these, bitch. You complain about your husband all the time. And you complain about yours. And it's effing all right, B. Now let's move on. Where the fuck is the cake? I said, y'all done got Toya activated. Where the fuck is the cake? Angel is overstimulated and she's just like, wow, okay. Contessa sees that her hijinks have upset Toya, so she gets up to give Toya a hug to calm her on down. So now she's talking calmly. Contessa's just like, listen, I'm with my husband. We've been together for 20 years. And I'm not going to focus on every negative thing, because if I did, I would be like these single girls out here. And maybe at year 30, he'll start doing those things for me. Simone said, I've been married for 29 years. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything, okay? Then she makes some offhand comment about, I would love a Rolls Royce, but I like the ring better. Being like, yeah, Quad, your man got you a car, but he won't even marry you. Quite like, how I get in this? Listen, I got a ring that I had in a safe and I got a Rolls Royce. Now what? Like, girl, please. And the ring ain't even all, like, it ain't even nothing to be trying to clamor about, okay? Quad said, well, some people married and don't want to be married. Essentially taking shots at Contessa. And Simone gonna say, who else don't want to be married besides me? Who else don't want to be married other than me? Quiet about to cry. Yes, you do. Don't say that. Don't say. You don't mean that. You don't mean that, Simone. Someone said, you have no idea. Y'all, this episode 10, 10, 10s across the board. It was everything that I needed. This is like, ooh. I love me some Married to Medicine. Them girls is funny. It's only been 45 minutes on this thing, y'all. So, like the video, share the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. It's about to be Christmas time, y'all. I'm very excited. My baby's little Christmas mini recital is coming up. I can't wait to go to that. We didn't get to go to it last year. She was sick. I get to work from home for a bit, so that's good. I get to be at home and just work from home for a little bit. I gotta go into the office. It's all cold. Holiday time. I don't want to be going back and forth to the... So it's time for me to get to my family because little mama, she hype. She on one. Love y'all. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get me to 200. Let's get me to 200 by the end of the year, okay? And then we gonna work on getting me 500 by the time. So I be loving y'all, but I don't know if y'all love me back.